Welcome to Talking Comics, where we're bagged, boarded, and pre-recorded. I'm Ryan.
I'm Sean.
I think I've used that one before, but it's a classic. It's a classic. Welcome back. Been a hot minute since we recorded a Talking Comics.
It has been.
Because someone was dying last week.
Oh. Yes. The pneumonia with a P.
Yeah, I got a call from him, and I got a call from Sean, and we talked on the phone for a minute about recording last week, and I was like, nah, we'll use the Red Sun recording.
Come on, we can still do it.
He sounded like a zombie.
Making you an offer you couldn't
Any
refuse.
of you guys that are fans of the Fallout games, he sounded like a ghoul from Fallout.
Oh.
How's it going, smooth skin? Like,
The way I felt, a ghoul would have been a step up.
I mean, he looks like one always, but
Yeah, there's that.
Sean's gonna laugh his ass off in post when he's watching this later. He's like, I didn't know where he was going with that.
Well,
So, I have a comic to talk about from my Comic Con haul,
all right.
and Sean has...
Yeah, I got a couple books, and I have a list
list.
of controversial comic covers.
Yeah.
You know I love the controversy. But a few of them, I get spoilers. For the time that they were in, yes, controversy. Today, you're like, still, they're milestones.
So I'll kick this off with my big comic, Man vs. Rock. I promised that would be the first one I reviewed. And yeah, so I read it. I jotted down a few notes. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. It has a lot of humor in it. Just throughout the whole thing, it's very much a satire on like culture and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So the basic premise is this crazy geologist thinks that rocks are going to rise up against mankind because of all the wrongs that have been done to them throughout history, right?
I love it.
So the very first murder was done with a rock. Instead of crucifying Jesus, we crucified a rock. When we landed on Plymouth Rock, did we kiss it? No. They peed on it.
Okay.
So he thinks this guy, this geologist, Professor Buck Stone, is the only one with the stones to stop it.
What the buck?
He wears this awesome t-shirt that says "Reading is rad."
Okay.
And so he thinks the rocks are going to take over the world and like destroy and kill everybody. And so he's teaching this class, and he like the school won't actually fund him doing his real passion of telling people that rocks are going to destroy the world. So he just kind of slips it into lessons.
We're not backing you, Buckstone. You got rocks in your head.
So Buckstone wants to stop the rockopolis.
The rockocalypse.
So he, throughout the years, has put 1 million pounds of C4 across the world's major rock outcrops, big deposits of like rocks,
Quarries and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 million pounds.
Well, yeah.
That's 1,000,000. I don't know if you know much about C4, but 20 pounds of C4 is like a lot of C4. He must have like tenure at his school or something.
I was going to say.
He's making money at this college teaching about rocks.
Yeah, that's he's got to have an alternate agenda or something.
And so he's like, telling his class the rocks are gonna rise up, and he says he's like, and he says to one of them, let's check the numbers, let's see when it's gonna happen, because we can do some calculations and figure out when they're gonna rise up and destroy mankind.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells one of his students to punch in the numbers and whatever on his computer, and it turns out that the rocks are gonna attack tomorrow.
Whoa.
It's very Independence Day, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Wait. Okay, I gotta ask. You lost me on the crucifying the rock instead of Jesus. What? I don't.
That was just something that they showed in the book.
Oh, okay.
It's just like showing the trail of rock bodies that has led up to the rockopolis.
In his telling of the.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So there's this Independence Day moment where his ex-wife works at the White House.
Okay.
So he goes in there and he punches the president in the face, and he's like, the rocks are gonna take over the world. We're not gonna. Well, if that's true or not, we're not gonna tell the world. We just discovered this new rock that has enough energy to power all of New York with just this tiny pebble. We have too much invested in this to tell people rocks are dangerous.
Okay.
I'm jumping around the story here and there a little bit because it's been a couple of weeks since I read it.
Punch the president, not throw a rock at him.
No. That's what started all of this.
Fair enough.
Some cave people were boning, and then a bigger cave person came and knocked the guy out of the way and started boning the cave lady. Then the smaller caveman grabbed a rock and caved his head in and went back to town.
Hey.
On the lady, not back to the actual
okay.
town. And that's around that time is when the rocks start, falling from the sky and killing people. And it's super... I can't really describe how it all happens in words that would really make sense in a cognitive, telling of it. It's definitely something you have to read for yourself to really get the full grasp on. I'm just kind of giving you guys the cliff notes. So the rocks attack and carnage ensues. The army is trying to defeat them. They're shooting bullets at them. The bullets just bounce off. And
oh, you sold me. I want to read this.
it gets down the line to the point where they're in the war room or whatever, talking about it, and they're talking to the president, or they're in the Oval Office, and his advisor and military chief of staff guy are talking to him. What are we gonna do, Mr. President? It's there's only one answer, and one of them's nuclear missiles. Fuck yeah.
Of course.
And he's like, no. The president says no. Full surrender. What? No, we can't do that. We're not France. And they're like, our president would never surrender. He has to be, and they turn around, the chair around, a rock.
Oh, dun dun dun.
And so Buck Stone is while all this is happening, is driving across country or whatever. And so if I had to sum up this book in one word, it would be ridiculous, but in a good way.
Okay.
It's not that's ridiculous. You don't want any of that business. Nah. No, it's ridiculous in that it's funny and all in just trying to make you laugh and entertain you.
So it's like a Sharknado.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the best. Actually, that's the best analogy. It's a Sharknado.
Me and my Sharknadoes.
So, yeah, if you're interested, Sean might be able to put in some orders for them, or what else did I have? That's pretty much all I really have to say on that for now. This is only volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably there might be more to come. I'm not really sure. They do give somewhat of a backstory to Buck Stone, but it's all kind of a gag, and it makes like no sense.
So the story's a little rocky.
But I really did enjoy this comic. It was very funny and very ridiculous. I really I got a laugh out of reading it. I really did.
Yeah.
And I talked to the guy that did this like a bunch when I was at con, and he was really cool and seemed very happy that I bought it and was going to talk about it on the internet. Even it's a lot briefer than I thought. I kind of burned through it a lot faster than I expected my list of stuff. So yeah, loads of humor, lots of jabs at like the government and the army and different countries.
Is this the same guy you were talking to on the Twitter?
Yeah. He's also they got a new line coming out called Un Presidential.
That's what I was getting at.
Where it's Kim Jong-un runs for president. That'll be another ridiculous ride. They're taking pre-orders online right now. I'm sure if you type UN dash presidential comic, you'll probably be able to find it.
Nice. I'm getting me one.
So that's all I have to say about that. Really, it was good. I really enjoyed it, and the guy that wrote it, super cool, really nice dude.
You're like one of those unexpected, pleasant surprises that you weren't looking for. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, and like his what really sold it for me wasn't it wasn't really his pitch. I mean his spiel was very good and very appealing, but it was like it was the way he did his spiel, like with so much passion, like he's really proud of this project he's done. And that's what really sells comic for me, is when people show like how happy they are with the hard work that they put into their project and to see it come to life.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out Man vs. Rock. You check out their new upcoming book, Un Presidential. I can't remember the publisher's name. I'll try and put that in post when I'm editing this. And yeah, hopefully you guys check it out. It's really worth checking out if you are looking for a comedy, ridiculous-driven comic book to read. If you're not feeling like the heavy action-based, Avengers and, Justice League stuff, I definitely recommend giving it a go.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah, I'll lend Sean the Man vs. Rock and let him read that one. It's totally crazy.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, and yeah.
All right, I got a couple books for you.
Cuckoo.
Got one that just came out as of this recording yesterday. They're doing it's a quick. You're not really much of a Star Wars guy, are you, though?
No, not really.
There's one that came out yesterday. It's called Star Wars from a Certain Point of View. 40 Stories Celebrating 40 Years.
Huh.
It's a long title, for one.
That's a mouthful.
It's various authors doing quick little snippets that kind of tie in from what you see in the movies.
Yeah.
And like little throwaway lines that you never really thought about it until you read this. And yeah, 1977 from the first Star Wars, 40 years and everything. Like, for instance, one that caught my eye was there's a scene in Empire Strikes Back where like Darth Vader's up there. He's got all the bounty hunters and they're trying to catch the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we first introduced to Boba Fett in the films.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, okay. And he specifically looks at Boba Fett and goes, no disintegration. Right, okay, didn't think none of that. I thought maybe it was like a spotlight to make him more sinister of a character than the rest of the bounty hunters. But then there's a story in this where it goes back to like right after Revenge of the Sith, where there was like some rebel spies and everything that Vader had hired Boba Fett to weed out, capture, and bring back to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up just turning them into piles of ash. And he didn't get paid because no bodies, no payment. So he's like, "Oh, you owe me money," and then that's how he showed him. He's like, "Oh, maybe I'll help Vader get his droids from the very first Star Wars," and that's how he popped up there. They had stuff. I don't know, just little stories like that. I thought it'd be fun. Yeah, that came out yesterday.
Right on.
Another one that came out, Mike Mignola, Dark Horse,
Nice.
along with Chris Roberson, the co-creator of iZombie.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing one, which actually it came out earlier this year, called Visitor, How and Why He Stayed.
Uh-huh.
You familiar with
It's another long title.
Yeah, kind of. I've got some long titles here for these very short snippets of books. It's when they first conjured up Hellboy, or Hellboy was created for the Hitler thing, and they did that, and then the scientist was there, and the professor, and everybody.
Yeah.
There was an alien race that sent an assassin to get rid of the Hellboy.
Huh.
Because they knew, and then he ended up staying
Uh-huh.
and monitoring for centuries the good and the bad of humanity, and what Hellboy was doing, that would it help or hinder the whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a watcher, and then you follow this. It's like an offshoot, and you get to see like another side of the Hellboy story that but you see it from his POV.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of cool, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. I might check that out sometime.
The Visitor.
The Visitor.
How and Why He Stayed.
I also have some pretty big comic book news, actually.
Oh, yeah?
This is, so, what was it, 2012? A certain iconic character was killed off. He was killed off in his own movie recently.
2012. Oh, you did Wolverine?
The Death of Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think. I think it was like 2012, 2014. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
Probably 14, I think.
24, yeah.
2014, they killed off Wolverine in a mini short series called The Death of Wolverine, and then to replace him, X-23 becomes Wolverine.
And they brought in Old Man Logan.
Yeah, Old Man Logan recently with after Secret Wars. So that was kind of a like he's not there, but he's there still technically, but not the original, not the 616 Logan.
Right.
Until now. Marvel Legacy Volume 1. They haven't done their BC one yet.
But yeah.
I haven't heard any news about the prehistoric Avengers yet. But Marvel Legend or Legacy Volume 1 shows Logan Wolverine killing a frost giant with a truck or something. Like he hit it with a truck and then taking an infinity stone off of him.
So Wolverine's back?
Wolverine's back.
And he got an infinity stone.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't really know much. I haven't read the comic. This is just from a thing I read online. Just some page I came across online that I checked out saying something about an unexpected character coming into the Marvel Legacy.
Wolverine, all right.
So yeah, Wolverine is back in action.
We need some explanation.
Yeah.
Wasn't the last time we saw him, wasn't he was encased in an adamantium tomb.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
So that should be interesting. I know very, very little about Marvel Legacy so far.
Yeah, I'm not.
I haven't really been reading up on it or anything. Just like that one thing caught my eye.
A lot of aftermath after the Secret Empire, which I can't wait to get in and trade paperback.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more quick book I want to run by you.
All right.
Another long title. This comes out December 27th.
All right.
Back to the Future. Tales from the Time Train.
Huh. So like
they're taking their sweet time with this because Back to the Future 3, the ending. So remember how that ended with the family and everything? It's like, where you going, Doc? Into the future? No, I already been there. And then the train flies up and goes off.
Yeah. Now we know where he's going.
They're gonna follow that, but they want to really get their continuity, and they don't want to mess anything up from the movies or nothing like that. So they're doing that, and that's done by John Barber and Bob Gale.
Cool.
Barber, Doctor Strange Unlimited. He's done a lot of Doctor Strange, so that we get that. That's pretty cool. And Bob Gale, of course, worked with Miller on Batman Year One. So that's IDW Comics putting that out.
Right on.
So.
Oh, Josh might actually buy that.
Right? Yeah.
Huge Back to the Future fan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's December 27th. First one comes out there.
Nice.
Also got that's funny you say that. I got a story to tell you too. I've been wanting to tell you this when you said that Wolverine thing. Maybe like no, we always talk about it too. Like no characters will ever stay dead.
Yeah.
One form or another.
It's the article. That's the word I was looking for earlier. The article I was reading was like one of the reasons people they kill off and bring back characters is for book sales.
Yeah.
They're like, no way, they're gonna kill him off. I gotta buy these and read it and see what happens. And then they're like, what? They're back. I gotta buy this and read it and see why he's back.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing because I'm like adamantium coffin. I gotta, why? I immediately did that, like you said. But there is a character, and Uncle Ben or Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Yeah,
those are the only ones that know. Unless you do like alternate whatever, but they don't come back. Do you remember Foom?
Foom?
Friends of Old Marvel.
Yes.
They had remember those books I had in the shop that had that contest? It was Foom. And what you did is create your own character.
Yeah.
And if you got picked, your character would be in there and you'd get this big chunk and you'd have like a little, then Marvel would bring you on board for what have you. I heard this story. The character was called, now here's the guy that, another character that will never come back. And they killed him off. Charles Burlingame. The Charcoal Man.
The Charcoal Man.
Never heard of him?
No.
Yeah.
Huh.
The Charcoal Man. Part of he was part of what do you call him? Red Hulk and Scarlet Witch and Punisher with the Red. They were the Red.
I can't remember the name of the team.
Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts now. Yeah, briefly part of that. The dude who created him, that's his name, Charlie Burlingham. His name was the character.
Yeah.
He failed to fill out the paperwork properly, right?
Yeah.
So they had him come back. They had already put it in production. It was already on print. So Marvel thinking that, okay, we just assume you could fill out paperwork properly.
Yeah.
You can't. We need you to do this. For some odd reason, he took it as a window of opportunity to try to sue them.
What?
For whatever, yeah, because that's his character, and then I guess whatever they were offering him and what he won in the contest was not enough for him.
What a piece of garbage.
Right? I heard the story. The guy was telling me, I'm like, no. Thunderbolts. That's it.
Thunderbolts.
That was going to drive me nuts. But, yeah, can you believe that guy?
What a piece of garbage.
You just can't be happy. I mean, what if that was me or you? I'd be like, yeah. Look at it. There it is. Yeah.
I'm awestruck by that. Like, for real.
So, yeah, Charcoal Man, brief encounter, killed off, never coming back.
Dang.
Oh, that's too funny.
God, maybe if that guy wasn't such an asshole about it, we'd still be. We'd be talking about Charcoal Man right now.
Right? We could see.
And not how much of an asshole the creator was.
Yeah. Charles Burlingham. Alrighty.
Is it time for controversial covers?
I got my list. In no particular order.
All right. With Spider-Woman on it.
So I didn't do Spider-Woman. Didn't do Spider-Woman.
You know what one I'm talking about.
With the butt up.
Yeah. Here it is, right here. Yep,
yeah.
That's the one.
That one. Well, then again, a lot of these, I'm talking about ones that were like milestones. That actually, again, like you guys be listening to this and hear me talk about them. And you'll see the cover and you're like, but for the time,
Right.
Like Captain America #1. My first one on the list. March of 1941.
Is that the one where he punches Hitler?
Punching Hitler.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you look closely, like, first of all, this is an American published book that has Hitler on it, whether positive or negative. Like, they didn't do 1941. Not to mention the fact that you see sabotage plans for the United States of America, and like they're blowing up a U.S. ammunitions bunker. You just see these little things, and people were just like, "Whoa!" I mean, pay no attention to the obvious that Cap's coming in and kicking butt.
Yeah.
Because nobody. I mean, it's number one, so they're introducing a new character. He's punching Hitler, cool. But yeah, for 1941, that was a little bit of a hoot, if you will.
Yeah.
Here's another one that might lend a little more. It's Lois Lane, issue 106.
All right.
This was November of 1970. Now, this was like a little, what would you say, like commentary on the society at the time. She wanted to look at the cover. She asked Superman to go in the machine and come out, and she wanted to spend time as a black woman in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
And I've read this book, and she comes off as a nagging wife, and Superman's like, "Oh, okay." My question is, why does Superman have something like this just laying around the Fortress of Solitude?
Yeah.
I get what they were going with the story, but their execution was just so.
I'd like an explanation.
They were being progressive, and at the time,
Soups.
19. Yeah, let's talk about Superman.
So Superman. Where'd you get that? I'm real curious. Does it work the other way around? I also have to know. I have to ask that. Does it turn you into any race?
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, that was just. I mean, I understood the story, and it was powerful for the time, and the cover alone was just. Ooh, for 1970, But it's like it raised so many more questions with Superman.
There's also another thing that obviously Lois is white again in this day and age.
Yeah.
But Superman, I've heard this rumor that once you go black, you never go back. What if alternate one-off? What if she liked it so much she stayed that way?
Oh, Superman. All right. This next one here, a little more of a gorier one for the time.
All right.
This is Crime Suspense Stories from Entertaining Comics, EC. Do you remember EC?
No.
EC? Yeah, that was the one that Crime Suspense Stories, EC Comics had like Vault of Horror, Tales from the Crypt, those things there. And this was this was number 22, issue 22, May of 1954. Let's see, Max Gaines started EC Comics, and then his son later took over, and then he started doing the Tales from the Crypt and everything. This is when they started with the Comics Code, the approved thing, and it was like right after the United States had won the war, beat the Nazis, they were coming back. Nobody was taking a knee. Nobody was. But they needed something else to attack.
Yeah.
Let's go after comics.
Oh, yeah. Comics.
And
that thing that helped us get through the war.
Yeah. Well, they had what's his name? He wrote the book, and he's like, it's corrupting kids, and they showed this. And to represent the comic side of it was Bill Gaines, who would be my first choice because he did a horrible job.
Like, the whole thing behind the Comics Code Authority, and it's corrupting people. You know what I call people like that? People that like comics corrupt people, video games corrupt people. I call them ignorant c***s. You.
I know, but still, the Comics Code Authority. Think about it. You don't even see it anymore now.
Yeah.
Even when it was on there, it was like Marvel was doing like Morbius, the living vampire. You go around. You couldn't have. They had this list of stuff, and you couldn't use zombie or undead or, any sort of sex stuff or
Yeah.
the usual stuff.
The
So
Joker became a campy fucking joke.
they do like Zumbi. They just spell it differently, or zombie with an N instead of an M. It's like, oh, okay, that's okay. But here's your 22, that cover there.
Oh my.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that was what was that? 1954.
It's okay because the blood is black. It's not red.
Yeah.
He was just cutting up some ink.
Yeah.
He didn't chop off her head. He was just turning the freshly printed newspaper into confetti.
It's trickery to the eyes. You're not seeing what you really think you're seeing. But yeah, I mean, the comics code, I mean, it didn't hit me one time till I remember reading an issue of Fool Killer.
Yeah.
And Fool Killer literally, he might have made, if there was a cover, but this was a content inside the book. He's inside a crack house and he's got like this laser thing, and he's just cutting crackheads in half.
Huh.
And they're showing it, just like heads and, bodies are being sliced with this laser he has. And I'm like, I immediately just turned to the front and I'm like, there's nothing. There's nothing. Not that it was a threat. Excuse me. But yeah, it just dawned on me when I was reading that. And then I go, oh, there's no Comics Code Authority. So I'm like,
Where'd that go?
I don't think it ever really existed, to be quite honest.
Like the biggest effect it ever really had was on the Joker and Batman.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things that people, like you said, yeah, you're right.
When the Joker came into existence, he was a murderer. Straight up. I mean, so was Batman at first. But,
yeah.
And then they're like, the Joker guy's a little too violent, guys. We don't want to tone it down. He's a clown. Make him funny.
Yeah, they just didn't get
Ignorant.
it. All right, my next one I have, Astonishing X-Men number 51. I was not reading during this time. This is June of 2012.
All right.
When North Star and Jean-Du got married. There's the cover.
That I could see being slightly controversial in 2012.
Mm-hmm. The first gay mutant marriage.
And it's biracial.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, the taboo of taboo.
That pissed off a lot of rednecks.
It's like we're just gonna cover all bases.
They're too different. Then they had a stroke and died, and we were minus one more ignorant.
That's when
Hey, look, Frost, nice man.
Also came out as being gay.
I've always heard like
Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Yeah, like there's been jokes about him being gay throughout so many years. Like they make fun of it on like Family Guy a couple times once, and I was like,
I have seen that.
Why? I'm like, why has this happened? Then they're finally like, Marvel's like, let's roll with it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't read, so I didn't read it this time, the X-Men, so I don't know, like if that's even. Does it matter? Iceman's kind of a cool character.
Yeah, I don't give a single fuck about it.
Iceman's one of the original X-Men.
Yeah. Like, I don't... Gay, straight, it doesn't matter to me. He's still an X-Man.
Wasn't there a Lantern that they did gay too, I think?
I don't really know. I've never been a Lantern reader.
They're talking about... Well, they finally pulled the trigger, and which nobody cared either way until they did it. Made Wonder Woman bisexual. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
She grew up in a society of only women.
And they touched upon it in the movie, too. Kind of, sort of, ever. When they were on the boat, and her and Steve Trevor were talking. Yeah. We understand for procreation, but, pleasure goes, nah, we don't need you men. All right. My next one, I know you're familiar with this. Part of the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil Hard Traveling Heroes series.
Oh, yeah.
Lantern, Green Arrow, 85.
Speedy on
there it is.
The junk.
Yep. That one, I mean, still to this day, I mean, people, they know it.
My ward is the junkie.
I know, a lot of wards back then. Yeah, this was, what was it, September 1971. Yeah, drugs were the...
They were the hot topic.
In comics. Oh yeah, that was because then later on Marvel did. DC always seemed to beat him though to the punch first, and then Marvel did the one with the Spider-Man. Remember, with the pills going around the school and the kid actually overdosed.
I'm not
And
familiar.
then, in a roundabout way, it kind of led into the whole Morbius thing, which we talked about just a little bit ago. And he's experimenting with he took some of whatever these made up pills were, gamma pills. Everything's gamma, gamma bomb, gamma ray. I can't remember what they were called, but yeah, the kid overdosed, and then Morbius, and then it was like an ingredient he needed.
Huh.
But it wasn't him. I mean, he had nothing to do with the kid overdosing and stuff like that. All right, and then,
that one was very controversial. That makes pretty much every controversial list of comic covers.
yeah, because it was the thing that was the ending of
Their road trip, right?
when they go around, and it was a great story, man. They wrote this because you see homeless and tired and war veterans that nobody was doing anything for, and like people just poverty, and the way that Neil Adams would draw these pain-stricken eyes in the homeless, and it was basically just there's some problems that people in masks and capes can't fix.
Yeah.
And they were going around kind of taking us on a tour of shit we kind of sweep under the rug to this day. And then at the end, oh my God, we just made a hard left as he was hard lining. Oh, Speedy. Now this last one I have for you. This is this year. This year, read the synopsis to you. After miraculously surviving being gunned down by police, a young man learns that he is part of the biggest lie in history. Now he must decide whether it's safer to keep it a secret or if the truth will set him free. In a world that already fears and hates them, what if only black people had superpowers? It's called Black. And I want to show you this cover. This is actually number 4. But look, I love that cover. Some of the other ones are pretty brutal too. I mean, every cover I had to pick, but this is the one that entertained me the most.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
And like, I forgive me if I'm butchering some of these names here. Kwanzaa Ajafio. Carrie Randolph did the cover art. Tim Smith the third. Jamal Igel, Ashley Woods, clearly people of color,
Yeah.
But I actually read the first one, and it's not half bad. I like the thing. It's X-Men told, but with actual, because X-Men was total commentary on racism.
Yeah.
Okay, this is racism commentating somewhat on X-Men, I guess. I don't know.
They flipped it.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, and this was just something like with yours there, it was something I wasn't looking for, and it just kind of popped up.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool. So yeah, those are the covers I have there. You guys, they're awesome books. A couple of them are pretty pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good luck getting a Captain America first issue.
Oh yeah. Even
if you get one, I'll be your best friend because you're rich.
I know, right? Hello, new best friend. Here's we were talking about it earlier. Getting around the comics code.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel went so far as to remember the Treasury books. Those the big ones that I have in the shop, like the DC ones.
Uh-huh.
They would do Treasury books, and they wouldn't have anything. And they do have like this one here, which goes for like $5,000. A number 1, Tales of the Zombie. Are you familiar with that one?
Uh-uh.
Oh yeah. And they would do the Treasury size, and they would say, "Nope, it's not a comic. It's a Treasury book. It's a magazine."
Uh-huh.
And you even had, you could open this number 1 up. If you get one, I'll be your best friend. Chris Claremont and Buscema were like writers and artists in the credits and this and everything.
Huh.
Co-creators of X-Men and stuff like that. I love that.
Marvel had some freaking real good lawyers.
They just knew how to get around this. It's like, oh, foiled again.
Stan walks into his lawyer's office. How can we get around this? Call it something else. Here's $500,000. You're a good lawyer. We're keeping you on.
And then a few months go by, then All right, true believers. I don't want to spell zombie with an U or an N. I want to spell zombie the way it's supposed to be spelled. We're going to do our own magazine.
Lawyer, how do I get around this? Same advice as last time.
Don't make it a comic book. Make it a magazine. Excelsior, Spider Friend. Yeah. So that's my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do a short, sweet one. Where are we at on that?
About 40 minutes.
That's good.
That's a good length.
Yeah.
We could if you guys like this the talk of controversial books, I read another article a while back of like books, a list of books that have comics that have been banned from libraries and whatnot across the country.
Oh yeah.
We could do something like that. Just let us know down in the comment section.
Notice how I stayed away from Crumb, Fritz the cat. No Harry Crumb.
So yeah, please, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and like our video if you liked it. Let us know your, thoughts and whatnot down below in the comments. Still waiting on an answer for what you guys want me to review next. I'm probably gonna do Witch Doctor next.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Since I haven't gotten any responses from you so-called loyal listeners. So yeah, I'm probably gonna read the Witch Doctor and do a review of that one next. So look forward to that, because that one's gonna be badass. So thank you guys as always for watching, and please
Have a day.